how to lose weight without changing your diet one bit. Let's first talk about exercise. Jumping rope. At rest, you're burning about 50 calories, but when you're jumping rope, you burn about 560 calories per hour. 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. You would have to jump rope for 5.3 hours to burn 1 pound of fat. Let's say we wanted to walk off 1 pound of fat. You burn 340 an hour walking briskly, which means you would need to walk 10.2 hours. Next activity is laughing. For every 10 minutes of laughing, you can burn off an extra 40 calories. To burn off 1 pound of fat, you're going to have to laugh for about 14.5 hours. Let's move on to the next one. Fidgeting. You can actually burn an extra 50 calories per hour. Just by fidgeting for 70 hours, you can burn off 1 pound of fat. Moving right along to the ice bath. When you go into an ice bath for 15 minutes, you can burn an extra 250 calories. But if you're between, let's say, 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, spending 14 sessions, which is basically doing it every day for 2 weeks, you could potentially lose 1 pound of fat. The reason why you burn fat is your body has to maintain this core temperature. So it's going to do whatever it can to keep you warm, and it's going to generate a lot of heat. And that's how you burn calories when you do the ice bath. You'll actually hear that if you breathe faster, okay, you can even burn more calories. To burn 1 pound of fat, you're going to have to breathe deeply for about 291 hours. Donating blood. When you donate blood, your body has to then make up that loss of blood. So it has to generate more energy to make up that blood. And so you can burn up an extra 350 calories. In 14 sessions of donating blood, you can lose 1 pound of fat. As you're probably realizing, it's going to be very difficult to lose even 1 pound of fat without changing your diet. And on top of that, if you're adding certain foods that you shouldn't be eating, Big Mac or fries or a Coke, think about how many extra calories that you're going to have to add on top of all these other things that you're doing that are going to make it very difficult to lose any weight. If one slice of pizza is 285 calories, well, you can run 3 miles to burn that off. If the Big Mac is 550 calories, you can bike for an hour to burn that off. But we're not talking about weight loss. We're just talking about breaking even, okay? And that soda, that's 270 calories, that's doing Zumba for 45 minutes just to break even. Unfortunately, 15% of all the activities that I just mentioned contribute to your actual weight loss, whereas 85% of the results from weight loss come from diet. You're going to have to change your diet. There is no other way. You cannot exercise your way out of a poor diet. I love exercise. I recommend it. I do it, but not necessarily for weight loss. What you get from exercise is higher fitness. You get better muscle tone. You get tremendous health benefits, but not necessarily a lot of weight loss. And unfortunately, when you see people at the gym week after week trying to exercise off their stomach or trying to lose weight with exercise, it's very tempting for me to go up to them to give them some advice. But since you're watching the video, I want to give you some advice. If you want to lose actual fat, okay, we're talking about fat, not just water weight, there's one really important thing you need to do. We have to keep insulin low. But the cool thing about doing that is your appetite and your cravings will go away. That'll make it really easy to do and stick with. Because if you don't do that, you're going to have a massive struggle trying to lose weight with being hungry all the time with cravings. And that is torturous. To reduce insulin, you must go on a low carb diet, the ketogenic diet, where the primary thing you do is just lower your carbohydrates, not just sugar. You're going to have to look at the label and make sure they're between 20 and 30 grams for the entire day. But it's very important to point out that we're not just talking about sugar. We're talking about carbohydrate, which includes sugar, and starches are those hidden sugars that will keep you from losing weight. That would be the bread, pasta, cereal, crackers, biscuits, and ingredients like maltodextrin, wheat flour. Some people get rid of all the carbs and they just eat like meat, eggs, fish, cheese. That's called carnivore. They don't have any plants. It's very simple to do, and they'll lose a lot of weight because they're bringing their carbs down to 0. We can also add in one more powerful thing to put your fat burning in hyper warp speed, and that is intermittent fasting. Because as you lower your carbs, it's going to be easier to stick with it because you're going to lose your appetite. And then if you just eat when you're hungry, you're going to be able to go longer without eating because you're going to lose your appetite. You may find that one day you just are hungry for one meal. And the next day, maybe it's 2 meals, but then the following day, you're not even hungry at all. So you're literally going a couple days without even eating a meal. When you do intermittent fasting or prolonged fasting, you are definitely not starving yourself. You are living off of your own fat. This is how you burn fat and you fix a lot of other health problems. Your inflammation goes down. If you had high blood pressure, that'll start going down. Diabetes, that will kind of come back to normal. Depression, that will lift up and you'll feel better. If you were fatigued, now you have energy. What you need to know is carbohydrates block fat burning. They block weight loss. Trying to lose weight with exercise and these other activities is really only going to be a tiny piece of that puzzle. Full circle. Is it possible to lose weight without changing your diet? The answer is yes, but it's only a tiny bit of weight.